Fine. So kindly raise your hand if you are comfortable with today's methodology, that teaching methodology that I will be using while delivering this particular lecture. Okay, I can see your hands being raised. So I just want to inform you that today's lecture is quite important, because in the last lecture we have discussed all the key terms and all the theory concepts, or we can say that terms that that we will be using in this particular subject. But in today's lecture, we will discuss all those techniques that we use while interpreting a particular data. Fine. Secondly, I will try to deliver my lecture quite smoothly, and I will try to repeat all those concepts again and again where I should, right? And don't worry, I will be trying to uh, uh, that to deliver all those lectures in such a simple way that you can understand it afterwards also. So, shall we start? So I just need your confirmation that you just raise your hand so that I can start my session. Okay. So, as we discussed earlier also, that what is a classical induction technique? That is just a symmetric induction. Okay. So, when we talk about the term symmetric induction, that means we are discussing different conventional methods. Why we use this term conventional method? Because we are using all these terms previously also, and these are the some of the these are some of the methods that are being already used while interpreting a particular data. So this classical encryption technique or symmetric encryption, in order to implement this particular encryption technique, we use two methods. One is a substitution method, second one is a transposition method. Okay, so classical, when we talk about the term classical encryption, that means that we are using the symmetric encryption. So that means we are using two methods in order to implement this particular classical encryption. So one of the method is your substitution method, and another method is your transposition method. So what we mean by the term substitution? Is it clear? So in today's lecture, as I told you earlier also, that I am using this blackboard. So I will pass you all those notes that will be related to this current session after this particular lecture. But meanwhile, you just focus on all these techniques, because most of the question in your exams come from this type of techniques. Okay. So we need to solve all those equations by I will be also taking some example in order to make you understand particular each and every technique. Right? So what is a substitution technique? Substitution, as the name implies, that a letter of a plain text are replaced by other letter or number. That means substitute. Okay, so what is substitution? Like we need to substitute something. Okay, we are giving a letter, the letter of a plain text are being replaced by other letters or numbers or a symbol. So substitution में क्या है? Like we are replacing. Okay, by substituting we mean that we are replacing a particular term. Now there are two terms that we will be using again and again in this encryption technique. One is a plain text. Okay. Another one is your ciphertext. Clear? So plain text is what? That particular text that you need to encrypt. That is your plain text. And what is that ciphertext? Ciphertext is that in which you are using some that how you have modified that particular text, how you have encrypted that particular text. So after encryption, what data you are getting, what text you are getting, that is known as a ciphertext. Clear? So plain text is there, ciphertext is there, and then will be third term that we are using for this particular encryption technique. That is the key. Key is the, we can say that like we use the word key to unlock something. Okay, to say to lock something also, to unlock something also. So when we say about that, where is the key for this particular room. So what the purpose of that key is to lock that room also and to unlock that room also. So these three terms, you must be clear with all these three terms. One is the plain text, that particular text you need to encrypt. And key is that sometimes there are in some algorithms you require a key just to lock that particular thing. Okay, just to encrypt that particular thing. And there is a ciphertext that is after encryption. What the text you are getting, that is your ciphertext. Is it clear? So, if you are clear with this term, kindly raise your hand. You just simply raise your hand. I haven't started all these techniques. I just want to give you the brief introduction that in order to implement classical encryption techniques, we require two methods over here, or there are two tools that are defined under this classical encryption technique. One is your substitution method, another one is your transposition. So by substitution means you are replacing something. Now what that replacing means, let's suppose there is a name. I am using this particular. Name is my plain text. Okay, this name is my plain text. What I want, so and then उसको मैं represent करूँ with the word O. If there is A, I am representing that word with B. If there is M, I am representing that word with I. And if there is a E, I want to represent that word with a P. Okay, so this is the substitution. This is the substitution method that in substitute of this N, I am giving O. For A, I am giving B, M for I am giving I, and D for I am giving the word TO. Fine. So this is the substitution method. Like letters of plain text are replaced by other letters or numbers or symbols. That is known as a substitution. Fine. Next is your transposition techniques. In transposition techniques is that we don't perform any substitution. There is no substitution. Is it clear? Or we can say that there is no replacement over here. So if there is no replacement or substitution, what we can do, that we can perform some permutations over here. I hope you understand this term, that we are performing some permutations over here. I think many times in maths you have heard this term permutation. Clear? So what we mean by permutation, that means that we are getting some combination of letters over. Okay? So that is the permutation. Let's suppose I have a term ABC. Okay? So this ABC, how many terms are there? 1, 2 and 3. So 3. So how many combinations could be there? So when we apply a technique of a permutation, you can get that factorial of that 3. That means 3 into 2 into 1. So 6 combinations are possible for this particular. Is it clear? So permutation, in transposition, we are using that combinations of different alphabets or different key terms that we are using in that particular text. And when we talk about substitution, that simply means that we are substituting a particular word with some other word. Now again, like we have this ABC. So ABC ke how many combinations could be there? Like 6 combinations could be there. We can have ACB, we can have simply we can have BCA. Okay, so there are so many combinations we can go for. CAB is there, okay, BAC is there. So all these combinations are there, then that we can arrange for that particular group. Here, so ABC, BCA, BAC, CAB, ACBA. So all these combinations are there for a particular, we can say that text in it. Fine. Similarly, we have, like let's suppose we are having this A, B, C, D. So how many combinations are there that we can have 4 factorial? So how we can find that combination? By taking the factorial of that particular number of alphabets that are given in that text. So how this is possible? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So कितना हो गया हमारे पास? How many combinations are that we can go for this particular combination? That is 22. Fine. So this is how we can use that this particular terms are there. Like we are rearranging all those letters. इसमें क्या हुआ? We are not rearranging. We are directly substituting that particular alphabet in a text. Okay. मतलब like you are using this O, you are using that B, you are using that I and T. That doesn't belong to this particular text. All these words are different from this particular text. Why so? Because you are substituting that particular letter with some other letter. Fine. But in the case of a transposition, there is a condition that you cannot allocate any alphabet apart from that alphabet that is given in that text. Okay, so that in that case, what we do, we apply different conjugation are here, or we are repeating that particular text. We are rearranging that particular text by different methods. And how many methods could be there? By taking the factorial of that total number of alphabets that belongs to that particular. So I hope you are clear with both these terms, substitution and transposition. So kindly raise your hand. I can see this on my screen. If you are comfortable with this particular definition only, or I will repeat it once more, that substitution and transposition means, by substitution we mean we are substituting something, and there is no condition for that. Okay, so we can give any name, any number for a particular alphabet in the text. That is on substitution level. In case of a transposition, we don't use any substitution or there is no replacement. There is, we can say that rearrangement of letter is done. How that rearrangement is possible? That we will take the special permutation that can be occurred, that can be implemented on that particular text. And how we can find that particular combination? By taking the factorial of the total number of alphabets that are available in a particular text. Fine. I can see so many hands being raised. So I think I'm comfortable with that and I will move on. In today's lecture, we will discuss the different substitution techniques. Okay. So I'm trying my best that I will complete all those substitution techniques in today's lecture. And in the next lecture, we will discuss all those transposition techniques. Okay. Shall I start? Can you please raise your hands so that I can move further? Yes, I can. Student, I am monitoring two screens over here. One screen is that no doubt that we are not able to communicate as that so much in that we must have done in the class. But still, I can see so many hands being raised and my system is being monitored. So kindly show your presence by giving me feedback again and again, by giving me your response after a time when I ask. So before that, I will just want to ask some student. So Simranjit Kaur, can you hear me? Simranjit Kaur is there. Okay, Shubham Mahajan is there. Shubham Mahajan is there. Shubham Mahajan, kindly unmute yourself. Simranjit Kaur is there. Simranjit Kaur, kindly unmute yourself. Hello Shubham, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you understood the concept of the substitution and transposition?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so by substitution we mean
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
I am asking you by substitution what we mean. Okay, kindly Simranjit Kaur, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Simranjit, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Okay, Betty, can you tell me what is the difference between substitution and transposition?
Ma'am, substitution means we can replace the word. We can substitute any word. Just you have given us example like name, so we can be substitute a word there. And transposition means we can rearrange arrangement in that
By using
case.
rearrangement, by using the same letters that has been given in that.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
This
Yes.
must be noted that you can rearrange all those letters, but that should be present in your text itself.
Text.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, in today's lecture, like we have so many substitution techniques over here, I just give you that brief information about all these substitution and transposition. But in today's lecture, we will be just implementing the substitution techniques only. Okay, we will be doing only substitution techniques over here. So we have different substitution techniques. One is Caesar cipher, another one is monoalphabetic. Next we have polyalphabetic. And in polyalphabetic, we are doing these two terms. One is binary and another one is a Vernon technique. Next, we have Clayton cipher, and the last one is a Gill cipher. Okay. Similarly, for the transposition technique, we have keyless transposition technique and somewhat key. Okay. So there could be some technique in which we are not possessing any particular type of a key, that is known as a keyless, and there is a key. Real fence is there, columnar transposition is there, and double transposition is there. So I will try to implement all these substitution techniques in today's lecture, and these techniques we will be doing in the next lecture. So shall I start? So you just raise your hand if you are comfortable with that. I will start with the substitution techniques in this particular lecture. So, the very first is the monoalphabetic. Monoalphabetic substitution cipher. So I just suggest you one thing, that while I am writing on blackboard, you just try to write all those things in your some diary or a page, so that afterwards you can just go through all those things. Undoubtedly, I will be providing with the notes, but there are some concepts that you need to understand and solve it by yourself. Then only we can proceed further. Yeah. So you just start with that. The very first technique is the monoalphabetic substitution cipher. So what is this mono? Mono means a single cipher alphabet for each plain alphabet is used throughout the process. Mono means many times you have used this term, mono, single term. Okay? So by mono you mean a single term. So single term means monoalphabetic substitution. Matlab we are giving that substitution, we are doing that substitution in a single way, in a mono way. So why mono way means a single cipher alphabet for each plain alphabet is used throughout the process. अब इसमें क्या है? Let's suppose this is my example, my name is there. Okay? What I want, a monoalphabet में क्या है? Like you know that we have total 26 characters in English. ठीक है? हमारे पास जो alphabets होते हैं वो कितने होते हैं? There are 26 characters. So what I want, let's suppose हमारे पास A, B, C, D, okay, so many Z तक है. So what I want कि मैं चाहती हूँ कि N के behalf पर I am just giving one another word that is N. ठीक है? Y I am replacing that Y with P. Similarly, for that N I am using some another word that is O. For A I am using B. Now see, again we are using this M. And for that N I will be using N. Here, and for E alphabet I can use any word Z. So single substitution is there, and that substitution should be followed every time whenever that particular character will be repeated. That is mono alphabet. Fine. So what is monoalphabetic? Like my name. So I am repeating that particular letter. I have substituted that M with N. तो मैं क्या करूँगी अगर मेरे पास A to Z characters हैं तो I will just give substitution for all those words. ठीक है? But वो single word होगा that will not be repeated and you cannot change also. ठीक है? So you are placing that my with N. ठीक है? M with N. Y with P, N with O, A with B. But again, when you will be getting that particular alphabet in that text, you have to just provide the same alphabet to that same text. Fine. Monoalphabetic is clear. What is monoalphabetic? That a single cipher alphabet for each plain alphabet is used throughout the process. So single word जो M है अब चाहे my name is I have written Meena. Here again this M is being repeated, so I will give that M as N over here. ठीक है? You are using E. Let's suppose you are representing that E word with the S. So you are again giving that word that is S over here. ठीक है? You can again give that. Again there is E. You just have to write that S. Why so? Because you have given a single substitution for that single character. So that E, every time that E will be representing as S. Again you are having that N, so N will be represented with O. And you will represent that A with. Fine. So this is the working of monoalphabetic substitution cipher, that in which a single substitution for each alphabet is throughout the process. Means in this particular case, fixed substitution is there. Okay. So when we talk about this, that there is a fixed substitution. So what is the relation between a character in the plain text to the symbol in the cipher text is 1 to 1. What is the relation? 1 to 1. 1 is for मतलब the single character in the plain text will be representing a single text in the cipher text. Fine. This is the functioning of monoalphabetic substitution cipher. 3 things that you need to remember. First is that a single cipher alphabet for each plain alphabet is used throughout the process. So single substitution is there. Single substitution will be there. Second is that substitution will be fixed. You cannot change that particular substitution throughout the process. Okay, obviously, if you are doing some new process, you can have new type of a substitution. But every time that particular substitution will remain the same. Third is that you are using that what type of a relation you are having between your plain text and ciphertext, that is 1. Okay? So relation between a character in the plain text to the symbol in the ciphertext is always 1 to 1. Fine? So kindly raise your hand if you are comfortable with this subject or if you have understood this particular concept of monoalphabetic. So always remember 3 things. Single substitution is there, fixed substitution is there, and the relation is plain text between the ciphertext is 1 to. Clear? Okay, so this was the first substitution technique that we have discussed in the case of the classical encryption technique. And what method we are doing, what tool we are doing, that is the substitution technique, and we have completed one of the technique, that is monoalphabetic substitution. Now the next technique is that polyalphabetic technique. Polyalphabetic substitution technique. Okay. Second one is your polyalphabetic substitution. Now in this particular, like in the case of a monoalphabetic, we have discussed that single substitution is there and that type of the substitution is still fixed. Fine? But in case of a polyalphabetic, there is no fixed substitution. No fixed substitution is there. Okay? So each occurrence, that means each occurrence of a character may have a different substitution. Okay, so like in that particular case, you have seen that every time that particular alphabet will be repeated, it will be represented with the same character that we have mentioned in that particular case. Here, but in this polyalphabetically, what will happen that each occurrence of a character may have a different substitution. That means we can use more than one substitution for the same letter. Fine. So we can have more than one substitution for the same letter. That means again I will take that example. That is my name. ठीक है उस केस में क्या था I was using that n in place of that n and that n will remain same every time that n will be occur in the school ठीक है but इस केस में ऐसा नहीं है in the case of a poly means many mono means single poly means many I think many times you have heard this term polymers and all that polymers is what that is a combination of or the arrangement of all those different when we mention a similar thing with the different okay so similarly you can represent that my like we are representing that my with o and n with we can say that k okay a we are representing that b but again when you are getting that m that means there is no compulsion that you have to use n over here you can represent with another word let's suppose x we are using okay and e you are presenting that e with the C part. Here, so every time the occurrence of that letter is being changed. Here you are representing that M with N, and here you are representing that M with X. This is known as polyalphabetic substitution technique, in which we are not possessing any fixed substitution. There is no fixed substitution over here. So each occurrence of a character may have a different substitution. That is, we can use more than one substitution for same letter. So you can guess for that when substitution method is different or we are having different substitution technique for the same word only. So what type of a relationship is in between the plain text and the ciphertext? That is one to many. Okay, so one will be your plain text and this will be your ciphertext. Plus, single character can be represented by multiple ciphertext. Okay, single character can have multiple substitution over in the case when we are using the term polyalphabet. Is it fine? Is it fine? So here you were representing M with N. Again you can represent that M with some another word. That is a functioning of polyalphabetic. Okay, so we have relationship is kind of one to many. So this is the technique of polyalphabet. In this particular method, we will be discussing two methods. One is the Vernon and another one is the Grignard. Okay, so I will discuss one by one another techniques. After that, I will come on this particular. But you just consider this particular thing on your mind that in polyalphabetic technique, we are using Vernon and Grignard that we will be discussing in this particular section. Fine. So next is the third type is of the Caesar cipher. The third technique is that is Caesar cipher. Yeah. So what is the Caesar cipher? That it takes position of third alphabet. Okay. So what is the functioning of Caesar cipher? That it takes position of third alphabet. Third alphabet. Clear? So this is the functioning of that Caesar cipher. That every time, what it will take, that whatever the alphabet will be there. Okay, so what position it will be taking? It will be taking the third position of that alphabet. How this? You can just see this example. Like we have having this plain text. And this is our cipher. having this plain text, that is A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay? This is a one single text. I have just for the description, I have mentioned in this type of the blocks. So what I am taking that in case of Caesar cipher, it will always take position of third alphabet. Right? So when we talk about A, so what position it will be taking? Okay, this is your plain text. Okay, this upper part is your plain text. You want to convert this to the ciphertext by using the method of Caesar cipher. So what Caesar cipher says that it takes third alphabet. So इसके बाद A के बाद what will be the third alphabet? 1, 2, 3. So D will be there. Right? You are having B, C, D, E. So what you are having over here, that is E. Similarly, for C you are having B, E, F. Fine. What will be for D? That will be G. E के लिए क्या होगा हमारे पास? H. और F के लिए we are having that I over here. Fine. So what is that plain text? Like this is your plain text and this is your cipher. So this will be your encrypted text. Okay? But in case of a Caesar cipher, what method you are following? That you are giving that method, you are taking the position of third alphabet from the front alphabet. Fine? So this type of a method is not so much secure. This type of method is not so much secure because every time you know that you are talking about this particular that you will be taking third alphabet. So that's why this method is not considered to be so much secure in case of the bigger, we can say that bigger projects in which we are using that this cipher techniques or in which we are implementing that. Is that fine? So again I will repeat that Caesar cipher what says that it takes position of third alphabet. So every time whatever the alphabet is being given to you, that alphabet will be marked as a third alphabet. Okay? So this is how we can use that particular Caesar cipher in case of as a inclusion. Here, so how we can decrypt that particular thing? Now this is your ciphertext. You have encrypted that particular thing. How you can decrypt that particular thing? That you will get plain text by reversing 3. Okay? By decrementing the value of the current alphabet by decrementing to the third. अब B के पीछे अगर you minus characters from B, third you're minusing, subtracting that particular third element for a given alphabet, you can get this. जैसे आपको पता है B के पीछे पहले वाले कौन से word आएंगे? C, E and D. ठीक है? So you will be getting that A. Same for that E. E के पीछे क्या आएगा? Like you are having over here B is there, C and B. So you will be getting that. So every time when we talk about encryption, we take two things simultaneously. One is the encryption and one is the decryption also. If we know how to encrypt also, we must understand how we can decrypt also. This is a way by how we can encrypt that particular thing using the Caesar cipher. Is it fine? We have completed 3 techniques till now. One was the monoalphabetic, in which single substitution was here, and what type of relation we are following, that is one way. Every time that character, whatever the character you are substituting, that should remain the same throughout the process. Polyalphabetic में क्या है? You can have many different methods. You can have different alphabets for the same type of thing. Like in that case, M was representing with N, and later on again you are getting that M, you can represent with some other alphabet. Okay? Caesar cipher में क्या है? Like you can take position of third alphabet from the current one. तो जो मर्जी आपका इसमें लेटर हो, you can take that. ठीक है? तो अगर Z की बात करें तो Caesar cipher तो उसमें क्या होगा? A, B, C. Is it clear? So if we want to substitute a Z character, that will be represented by A, B, C. So that cycle will remain the same. 26 alphabets का cycle जो है, that will remain the same. Fine. So I hope that I am a little bit slower so that you can understand all those concepts easily. Still, if you face any problem, you can talk to me after this lecture, or you can send your query to your WhatsApp, or you can manually call me. Fine. Now the next technique is that is play pair cipher. Now this is the fourth technique that I am discussing, that play pair cipher, substitution cipher, you can say substitution cipher. Fine. Okay, before moving further, I think I just take break of 5 minutes, and I just give you one question related to your goal. Okay, to just solve that particular thing. So it is the simpler question that till now what we have done. I just need to see your response, that how active you are in this presentation. Okay, so kindly be ready with the first question. Okay, students, kindly hurry up. 10 to 15 students are still left. Okay, students, I think we are done with this. 2-3 students are still left. So I just say that most of you have give. I just share that result with you. So yes, most of the students have given the answer that of transposition cipher. That is the correct because we just need to shuffle that letters of the word. Okay, so substitution is not there. If anyone feels like what you have seen that most of the students have given the answer of that transposition cipher. That is correct. So substitution cipher is not there. Okay. So substitution means we are not shuffling anything. We are substituting something. So you just need to remember this particular thing in future also. The transposition is the only case in which we are shuffling the letters of the word. Similarly, monoalphabetic is also not there because obviously monoalphabetic is part of that substitution and polyalphabetic is also part of substitution. So these two terms are also not correct over here. So transposition is the right answer. Fine? Okay. Yes, Ritik, you want to ask something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in the case of the monoalphabetic substitution,
Yes.
you had given the example that my name and Meena, and you had replaced the letter M with N in my and name, and in name you had replaced the A with Z.
Oh,
But
sorry
in
for,
case of
yeah, I understood your concept
but
term.
in case of E, you had replaced E with
No, no,
this.
no. Kindly students note that particular thing. By mistake, I have written some another word for that E, but that will remain the same. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. That
Huh.
was only my query.
Yeah. Thanks for prompting me. So by mistakenly, I have written some different word for that E, but it will remain the same.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, students, shall I proceed further? So we are done with that monoalphabetic, polyalphabetic, and Caesar cipher over here. Fine. So you can we just move further types that we require in this substitution cipher. So shall I proceed? Can you please raise your hand? Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'm going to start with another substitution technique that is a play pair cipher. So coming back to this particular techniques, so we are now on fourth substitution technique that we are using in this substitution methods. That is a play pair substitution technique. So there are some points that you must understand in this particular play pair substitution technique. So I just write all those points one by one. The very first is that we always use 5 by 5 matrix, 5 by 5 matrix in this playbook. Yeah. So every time, what type of a matrix we are using? That is 5 by 5. Means 5 rows and 5 columns. Clear? So the first rule of this APS substitution cipher is that we have to use that 5 by 5 matrix that should be used in case of playback. Second step is that a key will be always given to you. Key will be given to you. In case if you are using that play pair substitution cycle. Okay, let's suppose in my case and the example that I am taking, I am using that key monarchy. Okay, so key is anything that any text could be there, any word could be there that you can use in this case of a plain pair substitution cycle. So I am using that word T. This is one of your example that I am using a T over there, that is Guna. So what the third step is that I will fill that matrix, fill the matrix with the T that has been given to us. Okay. Now next step is that I will fill my matrix with the T that will be given to me. Fine. So what I should write like M O N A R C H. Here. So I have filled all those elements that is being given in my term that is given as a key to me. That is monarchy. I am filling all. Now the remaining two cells, all those remaining cells will be filled by all those characters that are not being mentioned in this key. Here, I have to fill my remaining cells with all those alphabets that are not mentioned in that particular key. So in my case, I will start with the, let's suppose like in the case of the alphabets, we start with the letter A. Okay. A is already there. So those letters that are already being present in this particular key, you don't have to mention that word again in your. Okay? So हमने क्या किया? A is there, we are not writing A. I will write B over here. C is there, I will not writing that C. Okay? I am writing B over here. D is there. After that, E is there. F. I am writing F. G is there. H is there, so I am not repeating that word. And apart from that, I, we always use I and J as a pair in this case. Okay? In the play pair case, we always use I and J as a pair every time. Now there are two reasons behind that. First reason is that, as you know that I am using 5 by 5 numbers. Here, the total हमारे पास जो alphabets हैं, in English, जो dictionary में total alphabets are there, that are 26. We have to pair something. You can have some another pair also, but most of the situation we follow this particular ING. Okay, there is a long reason behind that. That it has been mathematically proved that we must use this ING for the less complexity of that particular thing. So we will not go in so much detail. Meanwhile, you just remember that why we need to pair that ING, because we have total 25 characters and we need to address 26 characters. So we have to pair two characters as in one thing. So we have considered that I or J. Similarly, after that IJ, K is not there in our key, so I am writing K. L is not there, M is there, so I am not using that M. N is there, O is there, P is not there, I am using that P. Okay, similarly Q is there, S is there, T will be there, fine. U is there, V, W, X, Y is present, so I am writing that Y and U is there. Fine. So this is L and this is U. So the first step is that we have to consider 5 by 5 matrix. Second step is that there should be a key will be given to us. Third step is that we have to fill that matrix with a key. Okay? We are filling that particular matrix with the key, and we will fill all the remaining cells with all those alphabets or the characters that are not being mentioned in your. Okay? So I will be using that I and G over here. Now the next thing is that we will divide the plain text into two. Let's suppose plain text is what? As in the starting of the session only, I told you that we are using two types of the words. One is the plain text, another one is the cipher. So plain text is that which you need to encrypt. Okay? So let's suppose my plain text is plain here. Plain here is there. Okay? So plain here में क्या करेंगे? What we do that this we will divide that plain text into groups. So I will make a group of two elements over here, like PL, AY, FA, and IN. Right? PL, AY, FA, and IN. Is it clear? You are clear with the this particular, we can see the condition for Clayfair, this alpha and induction. So first rule is that we will always take 5 by 5 matrix. Second thing is that a key will be given to us. Okay. Third thing is that we will fill that matrix with the key. So you can see over here that till now you have filled all those elements with the help of that key. Clear? So some key is there. So for you have filled that key in your this, and remaining elements you have to fill that remaining elements in your this particular. And we need to pair that ING over here, just to fill up all those 26 elements in my 5 by 5. Here, obviously, if J will be present, you are not writing any pair. So you will be using that particular thing in your case, and you can pair some another alphabet. Okay. But if I and J is not present in your key, then it is mandatory that you can go for that ING. Clear? So the next step is that how we can use that particular thing. Fourth step is that we divide that particular plain text into. Okay, like this was my plain text. I need to convert this particular plain text into the test. So I am pairing that particular thing into groups like PL, AY, FA, and I. Fine. Now there are three rules that you need to consider. This point is important. There are three rules that you need to consider in order to encrypt a particular plain. One is your row rule. Row rule. Now what row rule says that if both alphabets of same group belongs to same row, then take alphabet on right side. Row rule क्या है? By name you just remember. Row rule means if both the alphabet belongs to the same row, then you have to take the alphabet that is present on the right side. Fine. What is the example for this particular case? Let's suppose I am taking this PL. Okay. So ये PL, you can go for that. Where is that PL? PL is here. Both belongs to same row. Okay. So according to rule, what it says that we have to take that alphabet that belongs to right of that particular alphabet. So what belongs right to this P? It is Q. Q is over here. Or L के कौन है? That is fine. Is it fine? I will repeat again. There are now, till now, all these were the requirements of your Clayfair. Now, how we will encrypt? This is your method that you are using that row rule. What row rule says that if same alphabet, if same pair, alphabets in a pair belongs to same row. If alphabets belongs to same row, then you have to take all those alphabets that belongs right to that particular alphabet. So, what belongs right to this P? My first alphabet is P. What belongs to right to this particular alphabet? That is Q. My next alphabet is L. What belongs right to it? That is fine. Next rule is column rule. Column rule says that if alphabets in a pair belongs to same column, then it will move one block downwards. Okay, it will move one block downwards. Let's suppose I am taking O and H. O and H is here. Okay, now this O and H, what will happen? That it will move one cell downwards. Okay, one cell downwards हो सकते हो. Okay, like for this O, what will be the alphabet? That is H. And for H, what will be the alphabet? It is fine. So this is H and this is your column rule. Third rule is that square rule. Third rule is that square rule. So what square rule says that if alphabet follows a square group, then corresponding letter will be there. Okay? If your alphabet is following the square group, then we have to take the corresponding letter. Now let's suppose this is the M. You are having that M with you, and you are having that R with you. Here M or R, both are at the corner. Both are making a particular sphere over here. Okay, here done with M or R. You can have that, or you can use that. This is the corner element M U. ठीक है, तो अगर हमने M R लिखा तो क्या आएगा हमारे पास U and Z. ठीक है, this belongs to this and Z belongs to R. These are the square elements. Or we can say that M or Z. This is the basically rule. You can also use this particular thing. Like let's suppose you are having M over here, and this is Z. So these are diagonal. ठीक है, so these are making a square matrix over here. You can refer to another this two elements. So for M and Z, you can have, for M you can have that U, and for that for M you can have that R, and for Z you can have that U. ठीक है, so corresponding elements you can take if it is making a square matrix. ये square बनना चाहिए. That square should be present. This one, this, and this. Fine. I will again repeat it. I think you are clear with this requirement part. 5-5 matrix. P should be given. We have to fill that matrix with the P. After that, we have to divide our plain text into different groups of 2 elements. That is PL, AY, FA, and M. Right? 3 rules are there. Row rule में क्या है? Like if same elements belong to the same group. In that case, what will happen? You have to take elements on the right side. Like in this case, you can say that we have that row rule में you can say that P and L belongs to the same group. This is your P. This is your L. You will move to the right side. P will move to Q. L will move to P. So that's why what answer you are having? Q and next is your column rule. Column rule says that same elements belongs to the same element, same column simultaneously. Like you are having O over here and H over here. So it will move one cell down. So H will move to F and O will move to H. So you have H and F. O will be represented with H and H will be represented with F. Fine. Sphere rule में क्या है? That a particular sphere should be formed. So don't get confused. As I told you earlier also, let's suppose we have this type of sphere M. This is U, Z, and R. Okay. So you are given with the term M or Z. We need to encrypt this particular term. Now this M and Z are being referred as a square matrix because they are having elements at their corresponding position. So you will represent that M with R and you will represent that Z with. Fine. So this is the rule for this play pair substitution cycle. So we have taken, okay, we will complete this particular thing and you will be able to understand that we have A and Y over here. A is there and Y is there. So you can see that here is your A and here is your Y. Now again these elements are the diagonal elements that we are using. These are diagonal, we are using A and Y. How we can refer that A and Y? A 1. तो A के कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग ये हमारे पास क्या आया? N. This one. Y के correspondingly we have. Fine. This is how we can now which rule we are using? Sphere rule we are using. Because both the elements are diagonally present and we can complete our sphere matrix. Similarly, next is the FA. Now we will go for that F and here is A and this is A. You can see this F, you can see this. Again the elements are diagonally present. We have to fill their terms. We can say that we can fill their terms corresponding to the particular. F के आगे की क्या I और J, but we will take that term I over here. Okay, A के correspondingly, so what sphere matrix we are making like this? Okay, again this is your sphere. A के correspondingly we are using here. Next is I and R. Now here is that this is your I and we have that R over here. This is your again diagonal I R. I R is there. I R is there. Here I के correspondingly we have K. For our corresponding word to the R is that it is K. Again we are making that sphere matrix over here like this. Fine. Okay, you are doing all these things for the first time, so you just understand the concept, and after that you will able to understand each and everything. Okay, when you will get practice for that, you will able to understand all those things. Concept is simple. Somehow, if you say I can repeat all this particular thing. Okay, I think you are clear with the rules, so I can immediately repeat all those things. So again, you can get to know that how we have built that. Yeah. So this is my example. If you are clear with the rule, again we can perform this particular method. Row rule में क्या है? Same element it belongs to the same row. So then what will happen? It will move one step right. Column rule is that if same elements of a group belongs to the same column, it will move one cell down. Sphere rule में क्या है? If the elements are present diagonally, it will form a particular sphere over there. Then you can have corresponding elements in respect to that particular element. So like we are having that P L over here. So this PL is what? You can say that PL. Which rule will applicable over here? That is your rule. So we have to move one step right. Going correspondingly to P, we are having Q, and for that L, we are having that PU. Fine. Next is the A Y. A Y is there. Sorry, A Y is there. This is your A. This is your Y. So I can, these elements are present diagonally, you can represent with a sphere vector. So correspondingly you can have that N, B. N, B. Fine? You are having next text is F, A. F is there and A is there. So I am representing this F. Again, it is making a diagonal element. It will create that square matrix. You can go for that I, O. I, to the correspond F, we are having I. We will obviously take the upper element I over here, and for correspondingly A, we are having I, R. There is that, there again that I will be a variable I, and we are having this R. Diagonal elements, again we will take this K. So we have K. This is your plane pair. Fine. So if you want to decrypt that particular element, again that rule will be reverse rule. Reverse rule is like you will be given that QT. Here you are moving at the right side, you will move to the left side. So correspondingly to Q, you will be having P. For corresponding to P, you will be having L. So this is how you can decrypt that. Similarly, in case of a NB, you will go for this N and B. This is N, this is B. So you will, again, this is making a diagonal, you will go for the corresponding. Fine. Similarly, IO. So sometimes in exams, they can also ask you for the decryption method. So decryption is always reverse. Like we use a key to log a particular route. Okay, you move to this side, and if you move to the reverse side, you will unlock that particular. Same thing goes in the case of encryption. Is it fine? I hope I have repeated it quite many times. So if you are comfortable, can you please raise your hand? There could be some doubt in the starting of this particular topic, or as these topics are new to you, but I will try to give you some exercise afterwards also, so that you can go for all those applications and you can solve that particular example, so that this thing should be very much clear in your mind. Fine. So I can see your hands being raised. Thank you for your response. I will move to the further method. Okay. So before that, I think we must go for one another poll. So that will be also easy for you also to learn all these things. So I will share you with my second poll. So kindly be prepared for that. Okay, so I will be with you the next poll for this particular session. So I'm just launching that particular one. Kindly see to it. Okay, students, I think we are done with this polling. So again, 2-3 students are not there. So I just going to share with you the result of that polling. Okay, now you can see this result that we have discussed that in polyalphabetic cipher, the characters in plain text that characters in plain text have a relation with the characters in ciphertext. Okay, so obviously poly means many. So I think the answer should be like one to many. It is not one to one. One to one is in the case of a monoalphabetic cipher. So if some of the students have given that answer, like 8 students have responded to this particular question as the option 1, this is not correct because we are talking about polyalphabetic cipher over here. So poly means always one to many alphabetic will be there. So we can, like I have given you example of my name. So that my in case of my M in case of my and name in the case of M. So we can represent that word M with every time with a different character. That's why this is known as polyalphabetic. Then that is 1 to 1. So kindly note and also give a complete attention to this particular session because I have repeated same thing many times just for your convenience. Okay, fine students. Still, I will move further in this particular session. So we are left with 2-3 techniques that we need to do. Okay, next, till now we have done that scissor cipher, monoalphabetic, polyalphabetic was there, and playback calculator. Okay, so all these technique belongs to your substitution methods. Now there is a next method that we are going to discuss over here. That is a Varnam technique. So if you remember in the case of a polyalphabetic substitution cipher, in that particular case, I have told you that we have two techniques for that. One is your Varnam and another one is your Vekla. So what Varnam says that this particular technique, how we can represent all those. Let's suppose we are having all those alphabets like A, B, C, D. So we can represent all those alphabets with some particular number over here. Okay. So we are starting with a zero. Total we have 26 characters. So last number will be obviously my 25 number will be there. Okay, this is your table that we have given. So what we do, we simply, this is simply a type of a substitution in which we will assign some number. Okay, so what we want, that number has been a particular chart will be given to us in which we are mentioning each alphabet with a particular number. So starting with a 0 and the last element will be 25 that will be available to us that we have given to the alphabet Z over here. Now what this ornament says that, let's suppose I have particular plain text over there that is like this. We have this is my plain text in which I am taking example of like this. Next is the key that will be given to us like this. We have R. what we'll do is we will make 3 columns over here, like this. Okay. So this will be my one for row will be my containing the number for the plain text. Another one will be containing my number for the key, like this. And what we have to do, now let's suppose this is representing my plain text. So here is an alphabet known as R. So what number you are having in corresponding to that R? That is 70. Okay. So we simply copy all those numbers for a particular alphabet that has been given in my plain text in my table. Right? So what we will do, we like for R I am having 17, for A I am having 0, for this M I am having 12, similarly 18, 22, 0, 17, 20, 15 and 10 will be. Okay, so last number is my K, and for K I am having the number over here, that is 10. So I am simply writing that number 10 over here. Now the next thing is that this is the key that I am given to me, that is Rancho Baba is there. Fine. So how you can use it? Again, you have to give that corresponding number to the alphabet by using this particular key. So again, that R, for one R I am having 17. We have A, that is 0. For that N I am having that number 13. Similarly 13, 2, 7, 14, 1, 0, 1, 0 will be there. Right? So 1 is for your this B. For A you are having 0. Again for B you are having that 1. And again for A you are having that 0. So the very first thing is that we just need to translate the alphabet that has been given in my plain text and my key to their corresponding number over here. So you just simply go through this, like whatever the key numbers I have given for a particular alphabet, you have to just substitute that numbers over here. Right? So total you can count, you can check that 10 alphabets are there. So we are also having 10 over here. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again that 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So the first condition is that my key should have same type of that key, my key must have same number, same alphabet number as that of the plain text that has been given. Okay. And there is a second rule that this method is also known as a one-time tag. One-time tag technique. So this technique also refers to that once whatever the key we are using for a particular plain text, that key cannot be repeated. Fine? That key cannot be repeated for some another text in the same process. So we have to use different key for different text. Fine? So we have substituted all those values of plain text and key with the numbers that has been assigned to us. Now the next is that we will add this particular thing, plain text plus key. Right? We are going to add this particular number, like 17 is 34, 0 is there, 25 is there, 20 is there, we have 29, 14, 18, 20, 15 and 10 is there. Yeah? So the third step is that we are going to add that plain text number with the key. 34, 0, 25, this is the same number that we are getting for this particular addition after the addition of this plain text numbers and the key. Fine? Now here is the issue. The issue is that particular number which you think that is more than, if your number is greater than 26, then what you have to do, you have to subtract that 26 from that number. Fine? You have to subtract 26 from that number. This is the only thing that you need to remember. Like in my case, you have seen that there is a 34 number. So 34 number is greater than obviously 26. You have to subtract 26 from 30. So how much you will get? That is the what number you will be able to get in this particular case. That is 2. Fine. You are getting that 0 over 2. Rest of the number will remain the same. Any number that is less than 26 will remain the same. So that will remain 0 only. You have 25, you have 20. Again there is a 29. You have to subtract 26 from that particular number. Okay, so you will get the answer 3 over 14 is less, it will remain the same. 18 is less, it will remain the same. Similarly, 20 will be there sorry, this is 16. 16 is there, it will remain the same. And lastly, we have 10. Right? So this is how this number would be. The issue is only in that particular case if your number is greater than 26. And there is a simple rule that you have to subtract 26 from that particular. Now what to do? Again you have to substitute this number according to your alphabet. Like this is 8. What alphabet we are having corresponding to the 8? That is I. For 0 we are having A. For 25 we are having Z. For 20 we are having U. For 3 we are having D. 14 we are having that the number is O. 18 we are having that number that is S. For 20 we are having U. For 16 we are having Q. For 10 we are having K. Clear? So this will be my, what is? This is my encrypted message over here. Right? So Vernon technique is known as, it is one of the polyalphabetic technique. Alphabetic technique. Okay? Poly means there is a, now you can see that there is multiple substitution for the same character. Right? So we have a multiple, like for this particular case, you can see that we have a multiple substitution. Like in this particular case, that R is representing with S and here R is representing with R. So we have a multiple substitution for the same type of alphabet. Okay? So that's why it is known as a polyalphabet. That is 1, 2, 10. Is it fine? Clear? So there are 2-3 points that you need to understand. First is that Vernon is one of your polyalphabetic techniques. Okay, for Vernon, it is also known as a one-time pad because we use a particular key for a particular text only. We cannot repeatedly use that key for the different text. Okay, so once that key has been mentioned for that particular plain text, it should not be repeated for some another plain text in a process. Second thing is that, third thing is that you need to convert all your alphabets to the number, to the given number in the table. You have changed all your alphabets to the number. Again, second rule is that whatever the key you are giving, that should match with the plain text. Like if you are having total 10 alphabets in a particular plain text, again your key should also have a 10 alphabets for that particular plain text. So corresponding total number should remain the same. Next is that you will convert all those plain text and key to the respective number. Third step is that you add all those numbers. You have to just consider one thing only, that if your number is greater than 26, you just subtract that number from the given number. Like you are having 34 that is greater than 26, you will simply subtract 26 from this 34. Clear? So in our case, there were only 2 chances when your number was greater than 26. One is your 34, another one is your 20. Okay, so finally you will get that answer and you just change that particular number to the corresponding alphabet according to your. This is how Vernon technique works. Fine. Next is the decryption. Now what do you think? What will be the method for the decryption in this particular case? Now in the decryption case, what will happen? Like you will be given with this particular thing. Okay? You will be given with this particular 80, all these numbers will be given to you. Okay? And the key will be given to you. Now what you have to do, you have to minus that ciphertext from that key. So I will discuss, I guess, immediately discuss with you decryption key also. Now decryption key, what we can do, like we have in the process of decryption. So if you remember our ciphertext, so what was the number 8, 0, 25, 20, 3, 14, 18, 20, 16 and 10 was this. This was my result. I am having that key. Key is this only. We are having 17, 0, 13, 2, 7, 14, 1, 0, 1, 0. This is my key. Now in the case of a decryption, what we want, we will subtract that key from the cipher. Now reverse process will occur. Obviously, we are decrypting something. The reverse process will be here. So we will be getting all those answers minus 9. For this case, we are getting minus 9 is there, 0 is there, 12, 18, minus 4. You can have 0, 17, 20, 15 and 10. Clear? Now where is the issue? In the negative number, because we don't have given any marking for the negative number over. Fine? So we are not giving any marking for this negative number in my table. So what I will do, I will just, in the case of a negative number, in the method of a decryption, we have to add, we will add 26 in that particular case. Yeah? So when we will add 26 with minus 9, what will be my result? That will be 70. Obviously, that will be subtracting over here. Fine? So what will be my result? That will be 70. Okay? So I will add 26 with the minus. Rest of the number will remain the same. Okay? Again, here you will add 26. What will be the answer? That will be 22. 0, 17, 20, 15 and 10. Fine. Now you will get all those results. You can see that R is there. Sorry, 17 for 17 we are having R. For 0 we are having A. For 12 we are having M. For 18 we are having S. For 22 we are having W. For 0 we are having A. 17 के लिए we are having that R. For 20 we are having U. For 15 we are having P. And for 10 we are having. So you can see that we have received that particular plain text already. Is it clear? So you can see that I think my blackboard is not visible to you, but now you can see that. See, these are the tag that I am getting. Right? So just remember two things. That for encryption purpose, if we have number that is greater than 26, we have to minus that particular number from 26. And in the case of decryption, if we have a number that is in the negative form, we have to add that plus 26. Clear? So in my case, only two numbers were there in which I need to add 26 because I don't have any corresponding alphabet for the negative. Is it fine? I think if you are clear with this particular thing, you can raise your hand. Yes, I can see all that. These things are very simple. I don't know you are writing simultaneously with all these operations, but the thing is that you must understand all those things in a. I tried my best to make you understand all these concepts in a very easy way. And we are left with two techniques. One is your beginner technique, that is also known as your polyalphabet, and another one is your Hill technique. That is a Hill cipher technique. So I think if I will start that particular topic also, I won't be able to complete that particularly in this particular session. So I will try to complete that that particular thing in your next session. Fine? So I think we can go for another poll, and after that I will start taking the problems, or else I can ask you something if you feel like doing it. So once again, I just want you before winding up of all this session. So I just want to tell you that what are the things that we will discuss in this particular class. Like we have started with the substitution techniques. Okay. In substitution techniques, we have discussed that monoalphabetic. Okay. So you can remember that in monoalphabetic, one-to-one relation we use. Okay. One text will be one ciphertext will be corresponding to one plain. We have a polyalphabetic over here. Okay. In polyalphabetically, we have one to many. The relation is type is one to many. Like we have done one of the technique, that is Vernon technique, that we have recently done studied in this type of example. One to many means same alphabet can be represented with the multiple alphabets. Okay, so that is the functioning of polyalphabet. One to many. Okay. Now, next one is your Caesar cipher that we have done. Yeah, this, I'm just giving you a brief view that what we have done in today's class. Separately, we always go for the alphabet that is third alphabet to the given number. Okay. So if you remember A के corresponding we can have B over here. Similarly, we go for the third alphabet that is available. Here, similarly we have it. Similarly, we have done that Playfair alphabet, in which we have used that 5 matrix, and in which we are given with we will be filling our key with that particular matrix, and after the filling of that particular matrix, we will remain fill up all the remaining cell of that particular matrix with the alphabet that has not been mentioned in that particular key. So that is Playfair is also one of your important. And the third thing is that in Playfair we have to must take some rules in your mind before doing the encryption. One is your row rule, in which if both alphabet belongs to same row, then we have to take the alphabet on the right side. And if we have it go for column rule, in which we have if same alphabet belongs to same column, then we have to move one cell downwards. And there is a square rule. That means if any elements are belonging, any elements in a particular pair belongs diagonal part, then we have to we have to go for the corresponding letters over there. Is it fine? So I think that will be fine for this particular lecture, because I won't be able to complete the rest of the two topics, and both those topics are very important, respective of your encryption techniques or as point of view for that particular exam point of view. So we will complete that particular topic in the next session. Plus we will be doing all those transposition techniques. Fine. So I can share with another poll with you, and after that I will ask you something. So kindly don't leave that particular session. So until I don't withdraw this particular meeting session. Thank you. So just be ready with your this. Polling part that is being related with some of the techniques that we have done in the previous session also. I just need to brush up your concepts that we have already done in the last lecture. So I'm going to, I think I have launched this particular polling question with you. So kindly give your answer. Okay, students, I think we are done with this polling. Again, 2-3 students are not still responding. So I just end this poll and share result with you. Okay, so you can see that obviously the passive attack is one of the attack, okay, that is used to obtain unauthorized access to the information. Fine. So I hope that you have understood last time that we have discussed in the last lecture about this active and passive attack. So if some students still feel like that this is the active attack, they must rectify this information in their mind that this type of attack in which we want to obtain unauthorized, we are having access to the information, that is the case of that passive attack. Clear? So I think we are done with this particular session. So I hope you have cleared all those things that we have discussed in this particular class. I just suggest you that before that we have lot of syllabus in this particular subject, and there are a lot of things that we need to new things that we will be able to understand. But like in today's lecture only, we have discussed so many encryption techniques, and many times in exams, most of the paper we have numerical based on all these encryption techniques. So still, in today's lecture, we have just started with all those methods. But there could be some simultaneously so many lectures in which we will be discussing all those different techniques that we use for encryption and all that. So it's my advice to you all that whatever the techniques that we have done today in today's lecture, just go through all those techniques once again during this particular week. And if you feel like any problem, you can call me or you can message me anytime. Fine. And these techniques are available in your book also. So I will try to post you all those the particular notes that are available for this particular session. Plus, I just also advise you that from the next sessions, every time when you have this ISRM lecture, you just have a notebook and a pencil with you so that you can solve all those things with me simultaneously. So I hope we are done with this session. So thank you very much. And if you are satisfied with today's session, kindly raise your hand so that I can just get a brief view that I am able to convey all those things to the right students. Yes, Pavan, Sa, Rajat, all these students are pending, I think. Vishal Palatia is not there. Vishal, can you unmute me? Yuvraj is there. Actually, I am not able to see their hand raised. This Yuvraj, Vishal, Tanvi, Shubham, Papu. So kindly go through the today's session. If you feel like any problem and all those students who haven't raised their hands, if you have any problem, you can call me afterwards also. Okay, student, thank you for patience listening. Hope we have a next session also in a very effective way. Thanks a lot.